Hello, welcome. We had a bit of a strange countdown there, didn't we? But hey, I'm here, I'm ready. That's the important thing. It's me, Phil Morse, here at the studio of Digital DJ Tips, the world's leading online DJ school, with another live lesson. And that means if you're watching this live, you can ask questions, of course. If you're watching the recording, you can still ask questions on YouTube and Facebook underneath, and we'll get to you. My team and I are here to help. We are one of the biggest places that you can learn to DJ in the world, and I'll tell you at the end how to access our courses, how to find out more about us. But for now, on to the topic of today's lesson, which is all about DJing on pro DJ gear or on standalone DJ gear that doesn't need a laptop. So we're not talking about controllers, we're not talking about taking your laptop and running DJ software. We're talking about DJing on the kind of gear where you either in a club where it's like this kind of thing with USBs that you plug into the equipment in order to DJ, or you've got a standalone unit at home. You might have a Pioneer standalone unit like an XDJ RX3 or something, or you might indeed be a user of Denon DJ's gear, or even the little mix stream standalone units that don't need a laptop. You can do it on all that gear as well. Today's demo is going to be with Rekordbox software and with Pioneer DJ's Pro setup, but just be aware that you can do it on the other big standalone setup as well, which is the Denon DJ engine DJ software running on Denon and Newmark gear. Right, so let's have a look at how it works. So on this particular system, right, there's two ways generally you will DJ on this kind of gear. You'll plug in your USB drives and you will, or your SD card drives, and you'll DJ directly from the unit there. Or you can plug in DJ software and use this as one massive controller, right? And your DJ software does exactly the same as it would if you had a little controller. It's all happening in the computer itself, right? So then you would be, and if you're using Pioneer DJ software, then you would be in performance mode, right? This mode here, this is the one that's the most common to DJs that DJ with this kind of equipment, right? You're using a controller, you're used to using this kind of mode, right, that I'm playing with here. But this is different. This is when you're in the export mode. How does it work then? And why would you do it? Well, the reason you do this is kind of twofold. There's a couple of pretty cool little tricks you can use that I'll show you, but the main reason is just so you don't have to export your music to a USB drive. I've always found it quite lame to sit there on my laptop preparing my music and then thinking, you know what, my gear's there, I'm here, and I'm thinking I just want to DJ. Oh, I can't. I've got to export it to a USB, then I've got to get the USB, then I've got to plug it in here just so I can hear some music. This is an easy way of stopping that necessity. And the way it works is very simple. You just connect your gear up to the club gear, but not by USB in this case. The crucial thing here is you're going to connect up via Ethernet, or Pro DJ Link as Pioneer DJ calls it, Ethernet to everyone else. So in this particular setup, I've got both these players here and the mixer all plugged in via Ethernet. Now this is how this stuff should be set up, right? So if you're in a club, they will have this already. All you've got to do is plug your laptop into it. Now, Mac laptop, no Ethernet port, no problem. Just get yourself an adapter like this. It's got an Ethernet port on it, plug in, and then that will be shown to the same network that we're looking at here. And that means that it will be available on your Pioneer DJ CDJs. So once you've done that, you need to tell the software that we're going to be DJing this way. So in this instance, if you can see my mouse pointer there, I'm going to go down to the bottom left and click link. And then it shows me these two boxes here, 1 and 2. And these represent 1 and 2 here. 1, 2, my 2 units. And on the screen here, when I press source, it says Phil's MacBook Pro 2019, bang. Now I'm looking at my library, but this is my library. There's no USB plugged into this CDJ, no USB at all plugged into it. This library here is the same library that I'm seeing here on the screen. And if I switch from one player mode to full browser, now I've got a massive library on the screen here of my tracks, and I can load these tracks directly to the player. I can load that directly to here by ignoring this screen here. I don't have to use this screen at all. I can use this screen. I can browse here and load tracks onto the screen on this playlist here. I can load them onto the player here and play with them exactly the same way that you would if you had a USB drive plugged in. So that's all there, and the reason that's there is that it's all being accessed from the computer over this Ethernet network, over the Pro DJ Link network. But I don't have to do that. I can, on the software itself here, drag a track to either deck 1 or deck 2, and it'll just start playing instantly. Let's drag that to deck 1 there. Bang, it's loaded on deck 1 and it started playing. There's that track playing on deck 1. And so this can be useful because you've got a really big library here. This library is much bigger than even the biggest library on your screens, and so that means that you might find it easier to do your browsing on the computer nearby than have to do it here. There's a couple of other cool features though as well that make this, apart from the fact I haven't had to export anything to USB, there's a couple of other cool features here that I wanted to show you. So the first feature, and if you've never seen this, I predict this might well blow your mind, and you don't have to have it set up this way to do this. You can do this by exporting to a USB, but this is a particularly easy way of making this happen. Let's just go, I'm going to zoom this camera here out a little bit, just enough so you can properly see the hot cue buttons here, right? So these are my 8 hot cue buttons on this CDJ. Now there's a feature on software on Rekordbox called Hot Cue Bank List. Now if you haven't seen this, as I say, I predict this might well blow your mind. Right, so I'm going to select this. What I've got here is, and I'm going to show you how I do one here at the top. So let's go to my prepare window here. I'm going to load a track onto this deck here, and I'm going to go to a point where I might want to put a cue point, or maybe at the beginning of this breakdown, right, like there. Okay, I want to put a cue point there. Now I could just put a normal cue point there, or I can go to this special thing called Hot Cue Bank here. I'm just going to delete one of these, and I'm going to click this here. Now it's added a cue point there on this song at that point here. It's telling me the name of the song and the name of the artist. But notice that all these cue points here, A to H, are all different songs, apart from that one I just added. It happened to be a song that I'd already added. They're all different songs. So I've got 8 cue points set here in this hot cue bank, all on different songs. Now, maybe you've guessed what this is going to do, maybe you haven't, but watch this. I'm going to grab this hot cue bank here. By the way, you can have 8 hot cue banks like this. You can have 64 cue points across 64 different songs, all prepared. I'm going to grab this, right? So I've got this here. I'm going to drag it onto deck number 1 here. And watch what happens on the deck when I release that. See this? Now that's loaded all those 8 hot cues onto there, on this deck, from 8 different songs. These are 8 different songs here. Now that is effectively a sampler. And one thing about this kind of gear is that it's hard to get a sampler on it because they just don't have this kind of stuff built in. So by loading a hot cue bank, I've just put 8 different samples from 8 different tracks, all available to me on these hot cues. And I can just play normally on this. I can just play the track I've got loaded, and they're always there as well. It's a stupendously good feature. And because this makes it so easy to have lots and lots of hot cue banks selected, I can drag them onto the other deck, or if I've got 4 decks on all 4 decks, select them and change them whenever I want. It's a really powerful way of not only mashing up your tracks by having hot cues across different tracks that you can play at once, but also, as I say, you could use it effectively as a sampler, which is really cool. Now, another thing, and this time you really do need to have this set up in the mode that I'm talking about, the mode where you don't have a USB exported, you're just plugging directly into the computer, is that on some DJ gear, some Pioneer gear, you have something called link cue. Now, you know what a cue button does, right? Because you're good students. A cue button, and let's just zoom in here so I can show you a little bit more closely. A cue button is the button that lets you choose what goes on in your headphones, right? So the audience might be hearing one thing, but you're hearing something else in your headphones because you've decided to choose something else to hear. It's a great way of preparing your music, right? But there's also this button down here called link cue. And link cue is a little bit different. When we are in link mode on our software, in other words, when we click link down here and our players are basically accessing the music on here, we can, in our collection, click through our waveforms here and preview the tracks without actually loading them onto a deck. And that transfers across to our main players here. So in other words, here I can have my tracks loaded on these decks, which I'm using with the normal cue buttons, but when I'm clicking around in the software here, as long as I've got the link cue button set here to link cue, I will hear in my headphones what I'm clicking around on in the software on the preview panel without loading it to a deck. In other words, I could have stuff playing on both my decks and be previewing a third source by clicking on the preview waveforms in the software and pressing that button there. Now you do need to turn that on, so if you're heading off to your Pioneer DJ gear now to do that, then to turn that on, you have to click into the link cue at the top there and switch it on. It's in the audio settings, I believe. If we go to audio there, it's at the very top there, link monitor at the very top there, just to make sure that that is turned on in order for it to work. Okay, so what else can I show you? I can show you the tag list, right? So here's another good thing. So again, you can do this directly on the players themselves, but I think it's a really nice use of the bigger library that you can get on the software. Remember, on the software, when we're doing it like this, we don't need to see any players, so we can have a full library going on here. And this tag list is a nice way of having tracks tagged in our CDJs so that we can quickly get to them. In other words, it's a bit like, you know, with the Rekordbox, where you have a Rekordbox in your DJing, well, you maybe do, and you go through your box quickly, you'd pull out 1 or 2 songs you want to play next, right? And they'll be halfway out. It's called a prepare window in Serato as well. All DJ software has got a version of this. In this particular setup, it is called the tag list. And you can have a tag list of tracks on your player. So I've got one here, on this player here. On the left-hand side, if I zoom in there, you can see I've got this list here of tracks, which have just been tagged very quickly in order for me to play them, to DJ with them. And I don't have to only have 4 or 5, I can have as many as I want here, but the idea is it's just a few tracks. Now you can add tracks to this really easily by using link mode on this screen here. So you have a list at the top called tag list, and you have to click a little thing at the right hand side to make that show. Again, there's a setting that will make sure this turns on, and you click this tiny little button at the right. It's all tiny on Rekordbox to get it to show. Now I can just drag tracks. So this one here is called Shakedown and Boogie. Let's drag that one onto there. Let's move down and get You Know by Bad Cookies onto there as well. You can notice that it's lighting up at the top. Now when I go back to our view here, you can see it's added Shakedown and Boogie and You Know at the bottom here to this list. So it's a very quick way of going through your collection in the luxury of a laptop screen, where you can quickly browse through everything here and you're not tied to a tiny little screen like this. Finding the tracks you want to play, dragging them to a list, which is what the tag list row is at the top, and then they'll all show in your players here. And that's all possible because you're using the link mode in the export panel, export page of Pioneer DJ's Rekordbox. So the idea of this lesson has been to show you basically a few of the things that you can do if you plug a laptop into your software, into your DJ system via Ethernet, via Pro DJ Link. It works on CDJ 3000s, 2000s and so on, like I've got here. It also works on XDJ equipment. You can do it on the XDJ RX3, for instance, and it's a nice way of getting the best of both worlds. The best of DJing with your laptop out of the way, because you don't have to look at your laptop at all. You can just DJ like you're used to doing on the gear. But if you want to, you can whip your laptop in, you can do some work on your playlists, and I find it most useful at home. When I'm adding music to my Rekordbox, when I'm auditioning new tracks, when I'm off to my streaming services, when I'm back, when I'm downloading stuff, when I'm building playlists and libraries, and I just want to quickly jump on the decks and test out the tunes that I'm playing. And then I want to go back to my computer and back to my decks and back to my computer. And I don't want to be exporting to a USB to plug in just to use it. And for those reasons, it's really good. Now, as I said at the beginning, this has been a demo on Pioneer DJ gear. The same thing has just been added to Engine DJ, which runs on the Denon DJ Prime 4, Prime 2, Prime Go, SC 5000 and 6000 players, and the Mix Stream Numark players. So if you've got any of that gear, you can do the same thing. It's a little bit different, and if enough people ask, I'll do a lesson on how to do it on their gear as well. But essentially, it is a mode that lets you plug in your laptop and use it as a big hard drive, and a great way of browsing with a few bells and whistles thrown in as well. And in this instance, it's called link mode. I hope you've enjoyed the free lesson. And we're going to go to the community now and talk about this and answer any questions you have. By the way, the reason that this is the lesson we're teaching today is that we're bang in the middle of making our Pioneer DJ Rekordbox course. It's called Rekordbox 6. Made easy, and this is the lesson that we've been working on today, so I thought I'd give you a little bonus and give it to you here as well. So we are now good. And I think we can go over to our chat and see what you guys and girls have got to say about this. Right, so hello everyone. Hello Robert, hello GM and JJ, DJ Boss Lady on Twitch. Hello to Leroy and David and the Ruckus and Cabes. Hello to DJ Tony Tempo, New York in the building. Mixmaster G, DJ Bally B, to Leroy and Andrew. So Andrew's in Stourport on the River Severn, very nice. And it's the first 90-degree heat today, says the Rocker, so that's good to see. Tim says, can someone go and collect my children so I can watch this live? I know the feeling, Tim. It's that time of day, isn't it? Right, okay. The other option, this is a good point actually Mixmaster G's making on YouTube, is that you can use the gear as controllers for your DJ software in HID mode. Yeah, I think we did kind of cover that in the end, but thank you for that. So Robert says, can I play in my lounge while my laptop is upstairs in case I use a wired LAN network? Great point, and yes you can, because you don't need to see the laptop at all. You can DJ once you're logged in. Like my laptop's over there now, right? I'm not looking at it at all. On the gear, I can DJ as if I had a USB drive plugged in. So I've got my collection here, I'm browsing, I'm DJing on both players as if I just had a USB drive plugged in. So yes, you very much could. The beauty about that is that anything you do here is being fed back to the laptop as well. So I think it's a really elegant way of DJing without having to use a USB personally. There's a lot of good uses for this. Yeah, it's a great question that, and the answer is yes, happily you can. That would be a great use case, Robert. Right, so this is a pretty cool solution, says Rene. But if I was doing a gig at a club, I'd much rather take the extra time and prepare my sets on 2 USB flash drives. Not every club has that Ethernet hub. Oh, for sure. You need to have a club that's set up like this. I mean, most pro clubs will have the Ethernet setup going on because pro DJs will expect them to do that, so they don't have to plug 2 USBs in basically, and so that the effects are all tied in beat and so on. Also, of course, once you've got this set up, you can use quantize and you can use the sync button and you can use beat matching and beat matched effects off the mixer and all that. It all relies on you having this plugged in properly at the back. But yeah, you're quite right. I think, you know, for performing, yeah, it's probably more of a case that you'd be quite happy to export to USB. But at home, it's at home that I think this is a really useful solution to have as well. Even worse, says Mixmaster G, not every club or stage manager allows you to hook up a laptop to their kit, so do always have USBs with you as well, of course. Hot Q banks are very powerful, says Mixmaster G. Again, thank you for being so chatty today, but using them from USB is a bit tricky. So thanks for that. Is there a way to export prepare lists to a track list for Mixcloud? I've got no idea. It's a great question, that Zombie Pixel US on YouTube, but I can't answer that one. Does the Pioneer DJ XDJ R2 require the link hardware? I don't know enough about that unit to be able to answer that, I'm afraid, Rabbite. Right, well, we have done this today, as I said, because we have got a new Rekordbox course about to come up. Now, the Rekordbox course is going to cover all the different ways you can use Rekordbox 6, including the new cloud library with the mobile apps, using stems or track separation as they call it, and all that stuff. It's going to be awesome. It's going to be about an 80 video course, I think, in the end. Somewhere, anyway, lots and lots and lots of them. We're already about a quarter of the way through it. It's the best Rekordbox course we've ever made. So if you're interested in knowing about that when it comes out, just go to digitaldjtips.com. And you've got 2 options when you get there. If you can't wait, just head to DJ Courses and go and buy our Rekordbox course, which is more or less up to date. We've been keeping it up to date. You'll find it near the bottom. And once you've got that course, you will be able to get the free upgrade when we get to releasing the new one. So go to that page there in order to do that. It says, Phil, you can tell I'm stalling, can't you? I'm trying to find the course. It's definitely here somewhere. There it is, Rekordbox Made Easy. So you go buy the course, and when the new one's ready, we will let you have the new one free, because that's what we do for all our students. You just get the latest version for free whenever it comes out, so you won't lose anything by buying it now. But if you want us to let you know when the Rekordbox Made Easy 6 course is ready, then the best thing to do is click the join button, which will take you to a page where we can join you up and get you on our mailing list. Not only will we be able to let you know when the new course is ready, but I'll give you a free copy of the book, which you might have seen on Amazon. It's the best-selling book on how to DJ from us. So go join. And it's been a pleasure. Thank you, people. Well, I'm back again on Thursday with another one of these, but Thursdays is our Any Questions. So whatever you want help with, I'm here for an hour to help you on Thursday with that. So do come and join us then. I think we're probably done. I'm just scanning the final questions that came in at the end just to see if I've missed anything, but no, I think we're pretty good there. So get good, get out there, make the moments, and I'll see you again in another live lesson this same time next week. And join me on Thursday for our Any Questions session. Till then, bye-bye.